Okay, this is for all you Charlie Kirk fans and racists that continue to come to my page and be disrespectful and say things that, you know, they take things out of context. They don't actually listen to the whole video. And then they come up with these things about how Charlie Kirk is not a racist. Charlie Kirk is a racist, okay? Now, when you look here, it says young conservatives are asking, what's next for the movement Charlie Kirk started? That's the whole point. That's how you know it's all bullshit because there's no one that was actually into Charlie Kirk. He didn't have a following. He didn't have brothers on his left and right that were ready to take the message and take it to the next level. He was a manufactured piece by corporations. Okay, turning point. What did they help do? What was his stance on anything? It's the only thing he sat here and did was cause division. Talked about the left. Talked about the right. He talked about directions. One thing I have learned from you Twitter racists is that uh, you like to categorize anything. If it's something that doesn't go along with what you say, then suddenly they are the left. Same thing with you think as people on on the other side. They're saying they are the right until you actually come to the point one day when we start to address the issues that are really going on in our country. Now, had Charlie Kirk wasted his, I'm sorry, not waste his time, but had Kirk took his time and talked about issues that were really pressing in America, such as jobs, families, homes, and what we could do to better these situations. All he sat there is did talk about black people in gangs. That is such a small percentage. All black people are not in gangs. In fact, 90% to 95% of the people that live in the hood are not criminals. They pay rent every month. They go to work every day. And so it's insulting to get on Twitter and you hear these clowns and these tethers. It's almost like the tethers are they're trying to really get up under you know the Charlie Kirkisms but nuts. You understand what I'm saying? These are people that live basically in the suburbia of the city. Okay. And a lot of times they come into the city with these ideas of thinking that they are better than the people that that maybe didn't have the proper family structure, or did not have the proper things in their family. Maybe came from single family homes. Maybe the dad wasn't around, and so when these tethers and coons, I'm sorry, when they come around, they immediately think that they are better than those people, and they're not. Because if you really go into the Bible, it doesn't speak of anybody that was rich, that rose to prominence. It was always about the ones that learned because they had suffered. They learned because they had suffered, and so they already experienced what's not good. They already experienced so they actually want to make a change. And there are people that are coming out of these neighborhoods that become professionals in the world and move out in certain areas. Now, what happens is you get a tether, okay? A tether will come in the midst. A tether being, this is what a tether is, okay? Listen, all immigrants are not tethers, okay? Now, we're talking about basically black people from the diaspora, including African and other melanated people, when they come to America, okay? They immigrate to America. The tethers are the ones, okay, that try to look like, dress like, and act like, and they undermine the culture of foundational black Americans, okay? Foundational black Americans derive from what? Chattel slavery, okay? We did not come here. We did not decide to come here because it was a better place to live. When you decide to come here from a better place because you want a better place to live, you are an immigrant. And your children become what? Citizens, correct? So when you bring those mental fundamental things that were back in your homeland, where they were chopping off people's feet and hands and toes, and just point blank shooting them in the head in the middle of the street, taking shits, pissing in it. I mean, this is where you come from, Tether, okay? And you come to America, you come to one of these major cities and you live in the suburbs because when you came here, okay, the church or whatever church or organization or Christian organization that decided to sponsor you, right? Gave you an American name, told you your name was Johnny or Mike or David, or gave you a biblical name most likely, right? Then you came here and you had a vision that you were the better of the melanated people, right? You came from, like I said, you came from what Trump called shithole country, right? And then you came here, and then some white. I'm sorry, they were white. They were white. Yes, they are, and I'm not being racist because this is all factual. The white people assisted you and put you among us. Like look among us. All the people that immigrated that were here illegally somehow found their way to urban areas. So then you drop here and the people don't accept you, right? Because they're like, hey, what's this? Especially when you go to schools and they already, because those kids are from there, whether they be Hispanic, whether they be whatever, those kids have been there for a while. They dress a certain way, talk a certain way. You know what I'm saying? They got a certain swag to how they operate. That's in every area. Now, when you tethers come here, you're coming from another place, and then you're injected into an urban area where they don't. You're gonna learn. You're gonna learn that you're gonna wear deodorant. Okay. You're gonna learn that you're gonna brush your teeth because your breath stink. Okay. And so, when young people, in particular, start to harass you and say things like, "That's why your arm's funky," you see, because you're talking shit. See, and then when he goes, "That's why your arm's funky," you're mad. And now to this, and many of you have grown up. Okay, that's why you got the Officer Tatum's. That's why you have some of these personalities that are butt sniffing all the time. They're butt sniffing. Okay, and I can tell by the words that they use that many of them are immigrants. They're not even in America. And a lot of time, and honestly, tell you the truth, the tether is not in his homeland. He's here. I remember, when I was in the military, I'll just say that, I went to Africa. So this is why I saw how things were. I'm not even dead yet, and they're here. And I'm listening to this. I'm listening to them like, bro, you had nothing. Your parents came from nothing. Okay, I was there. And so this is like I said, all you racists, all you tethers and coons out there, hey, just stay off my page because I debunk you every time. There's nothing you can say to me about Charlie Kirk. There's nothing you can say to me about Charlie Kirk. I've heard his rhetoric. Stop trying to reason with me about why he is not a racist. I've heard his speeches. I've heard the things that he said. I heard the things that he has said to undermine foundational Black Americans. I hope you can hear me better. Damn, I probably messed this up. Okay, so I just want to drop this little note for the guy to keep going back and forth trying to talk to me about. I don't even know what he's talking about. He makes no points. Everything he said, and then some other white dude, sitting up there talking, "Do I love white people?" What are you talking about? Do you just a blanket statement? Do you love white people? See, that's what I'm saying. This is the mentality of these people that call themselves journalists. They have degrees. They went to work. They went to school for many years, have doctrines, and then they want to come into journalism with brothers like me that live in the city and know what's going on, and then they want to try to be the voice in the paper and talk about shit they don't know about, but they put a perception to monkeys like this, that go out here and think that it's true. So I'm going to wrap it up for now, but I'll be back. Because I know some funky toed tether won't have something to say. Or some stinky butt alabaster who think he know what's going on. So until next time, take that black dick off your mind.